It's not often that people get to meet multi-millionaires and have interview sessions with them. However, this video is exactly that. We, the corporate breakout couple, Fran and John, sat down with John Lee and he'll be dropping golden nuggets of wisdom just for you. Who is John Lee, you might ask? Well, he's an internationally renowned entrepreneur, investor, speaker, and a self-made multi-millionaire. He became a self-made millionaire by the age of 27 via real estate and also by building several multi-million-dollar businesses. He has been featured on Forbes, The Wall Street Journal, and Fortune magazine, to name a few. Before we reveal this exciting interview with our friend John, remember to like this video and subscribe to join our YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of our exciting videos. Hey John, welcome to our channel. It's really great having you here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, I just want to, dig your brains a little bit, and can you share with us what excites you as an entrepreneur and a business guy?
Well, entrepreneurship is about the possibility of achieving anything you want. Anything you put your mind to, you can achieve. They say that you can't, when you can see it, you can achieve it. And so for me, it's the infinite possibility of anything that can be possible. And that's what really excites me, that look at what's happening with AI now. Yeah. Look at with technology, how fast it's advancing. As an entrepreneur, we are here to fix problems and to solve people's pain by providing unique solutions. And so for me as an entrepreneur, the most powerful thing and what keeps my brain alive is this ability to be able to problem solve, to think at a next level, to think deeply at something and look at it and go, how would I make that better? And I think there's this constant growth of being able to do that, and that's what really fires me up every day.
John, we started working together in 2020 when you came on to one of our summits. And what I really loved about you, and that got my attention about you, was how willing you were to wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., to do a training for us. Because, we were in Asia and you're in the UK, so the time difference was quite a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe, can you share on why you were so willing to go the extra mile for us?
So what I realize in life is there's always opportunities. And there's this thing called the COI, the cost of inaction. Mm-hmm. And so you just never know who you're speaking to, where things will happen. I mean, look, we haven't connected for many years, and now we're connected because of that one relationship. So you never know who's going to be listening, who takes that message, and what impact it's going to make to someone's life. And I always say it's like a ripple. You have to show up in life to do things. You got to make the commitment to do things, right? If you're not willing to show up and someone else is, then that person can get further, in life than you. So you just never know who's going to be listening. It's like when I did social media and my videos were getting like 2 views, 10 views, 20 views. How do you know that person viewing is not a Mark Zuckerberg or is not an Elon Musk? You just never, Elon shared one of my posts, so you just never know who's going to be watching. And it's always about, people always pray for the opportunities, but you have to go and find the opportunities. You have to knock on the door of opportunity and break that door down and get those opportunities. So for me, I always show up wherever, people say, why would you fly halfway around the world to do a 90-minute keynote speech and then fly all the way back? Well, you never know who's listening. And actually a lot of the companies that I've invested in that have now done very well is as a result of someone who has heard me speak. So it's all about this network effect. And the network effect is creating something, especially for a lot of you watching, that network effect spreads. And when you have a lot of people who know who you are, because it's not who you know, but it's who knows you.
Wow, thank you so much for that. And what I really love about you, John, is you always talk about contribution. Can you expound a little bit more on that? Because I think a lot of people who are watching currently, they're more inward focused. Whereas I feel, in my experience with millionaires and entrepreneurs, a lot of them are always outward focused. Can you maybe share a little bit more?
It's all about impact. A lot of people live in this mindset of scarcity. And scarcity is not enough. But if you live in the mindset of abundance, there's plenty for everybody. And so when you're contributing, you're saying to the universe, there's plenty for everybody, therefore you're not holding on to what's left. And so whether it's charity work, whether it's building schools, whether it's doing some pro bono work, speaking for free, flying around the world, covering, like, it's creating something that can really help support somebody else. Again, it creates that ripple effect. There's a lot of programs that I offer that are completely free, and it takes me a lot of time to put that together, and I could easily charge for that. But why do I sometimes give that away for free? That is part of the contribution, because people who can't afford to pay $1,000 ticket or $10,000 ticket,
right?
We don't want that money to stop people from their success track. So if you contribute and you give, and we come back to impact, when you have a lot more impact, that's when the more impact you make, the amount of money that it's in your bank account is in direct proportion to the amount of impact that you've made in your life to somebody else.
Wow. Guys, that was just drops of wisdom coming from John Lee himself. Through my engagement with people, I find that a lot of people are afraid of failure. They're afraid of starting something because of the what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? Can you share some nuggets of wisdom on that through your own experience? I mean, I'm sure as an entrepreneur, you've failed as well. It's a bit hard to say that no one has ever failed in their life. So what do you say about that?
Well, success is a series of small failures that lead to the end result. And actually, this is a really important question, Fan, because you're absolutely right. A lot of people get paralyzed by fear, but I want people who are watching this to reposition how they think about it. And the way I think about it is it's actually a part of the process. It's a part of the ingredient.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at all the things that have ever happened to us in our life, all the bad things that we perceive has happened to our life, they're actually building blocks to the person we have to become to achieve that result. So I look at failure as feedback of what not to do. And actually, what people need to be doing is failing faster. They need to embrace it. They actually should want to fail. When I get, like, before, you asked me before offline, like, what companies do I look to advise and invest in? Actually, one of the criteria is I want to know if that company's failed or not. If the company has not failed in that first endeavor, I will not invest, I will not advise. Because they haven't gone through that learning curve. And it's shortening the learning curve, and the way you do it is to fail. I mean, how did we start to walk? We had to get up and fall, get up and fall, get up and fall, and then we eventually found our balance, and we started to walk. Then we started to run, then we started to jump. So think of that when you're starting your business, whether you're on this journey to create something new, is that you actually have to embrace and you need to love failure, because failure gives you the power to keep moving forward.
Absolutely, and this reminds me of my ex-boss who was an entrepreneur. He said, fail fast, fail forward, and fail cheap. Because as an entrepreneur, you don't have endless of money, right?
Well, exactly. And so when we embrace that, when we understand that it's part of the process, we won't be fearful of it. Because actually it's giving you a clue on what to do. That's why they always say that success leaves clues. So, like, for example, when I get into new technologies, I'm fearful. I don't know how to code. I don't know this Python, Rust stuff. I don't know Web3. But when I get into it, I want to make the mistakes fast. In fact, that's why it's always good to have a mentor and a coach. Because you say, I'm going to do this journey. What are the top 10 mistakes I'm going to make? And they'll tell me. And then even though they tell me, I still make them, right? Because you want to experience it and internalize it. Because when you internalize it, you go, next time I do that, I'm not going to, when your parents say, don't touch the stove, and you do and it hurts.
Yep.
It has to create the pain. But that's why you got to feel cheap. Fail fast, fail quick, and get the feedback on what not to do next.
And fail forward so that we know what to do next time.
Yeah.
And finally, John, do you have any words of wisdom for our audience who maybe would like to break out of the rat race, gunning towards early retirement or financial freedom?
Easiest way to do it, and the fastest way to do it, is you need to have assets that produce an income. So either physical assets or digital assets. Because look, most people, they are creating active income, which means they have to trade time for money.
Yep.
The second thing is you have to create recurring income. So this is where you create something that makes an income for you, which is actually where people need to start switching their attention. And the third is leveraged income. So once I take that income, that's why I always say that business creates cash flow, but the investments from the cash flow creates wealth. So you have to find that balance. So I would recommend anyone trying to become financially free, break out of the rat race, is to work out what their financial freedom point is. So if they earn 5,000 or 10,000 a month, make sure they're creating something that can replace that income fast. So once 5 to 10,000 is done, now you're free, now you can create wealth. So that'd be my advice.
Thank you so much. And guys, there you have it, our exclusive interview with John Lee. John dropped so much wisdom in this video. I'm going to summarize 3 key nuggets for you. Number 1, COI, the cost of inaction. You gotta show up in life to do things, make the commitment, find the opportunities, and break that door down. Number 2, don't be afraid to fail. Failure is part of the process, and failure gives you the power to move forward. Number 3, in the interview, I discussed about being outward focused and being contribution with John. He talked about impact and the ripple effect. We had a 3-hour lunch with John, and we talked about business, values, investments, and he kept sharing and sharing with us. To me, that is the key to success, to be of service and to impact people in whatever way that you can. We hope that the sharing from John Lee has given you valuable takeaways and inspire you to take action in your life. Please give this video a like and subscribe to join our Corporate Breakout family. See you in the next video.